I don't know if you saw that, like on the news and things. And finally, some rehabbers were able to catch her and brought her to us, and so she's with us now, and we still have the arrow. It is no longer in her neck.
I was going to say.
We have yeah, she's doing great. We have a goat that was brought to us. This couple found him wandering around on the street, and he had a very, very bad fractured shoulder and had to have surgery with plates in his shoulder and everything, and he's doing well now, and he's out with the goats in the pasture, and he's adorable. He has the cutest ears. If you saw him, you would just fall in love with him. We have bunnies that, if you can believe it, were left behind when someone moved out of a rental and just left all of these bunnies in these cages behind inside the rental. So when the owner sent someone there to clean it up, they called them and were like, "You've got all these bunnies here."
Can I ask how many? Can I ask how many bunnies there were?
Yeah, there was like a dozen bunnies until 2 days later when we started having twice as many as we started with, because they, came to us and they were already pregnant. So yeah,
of course they are.
Oh, okay. They're just growing in numbers before your eyes. We have a horse that came to us because the family really didn't have any choice. They couldn't keep him anymore and take care of him because the father developed cancer, and he wasn't able to work. So, it's expensive to take care of a horse. So in that case, it wasn't a neglect or abuse. It was just, they just really couldn't take care of the animal anymore. So, we get a lot that are older. They have extra needs for vet care and other medical issues, and people can't afford it. Or we get them, like you had mentioned, from neglect or abuse or injuries. But they're all very happy here at the farmhouse with us, and most of them will live out their lives with us. Some of the dogs or bunnies or something like that get adopted out. But obviously, if we get something that's exotic, we're not going to be adopting it out probably. And if we get something that needs extra medical care, then we're just going to take care of them for the rest of their lives.
Well, I'm sure you would, but I just want to ask, you would obviously not let any exotic animals go for adoption, but let's just say a local zoo would be interested in an animal. You would let them have it if they were going to use it for their breeding program or anything like that?
I mean, we wouldn't have a problem with that, but I don't see that probably happening. Because the zoos are pretty strict on what they're taking in, and their bloodlines that they're looking for and stuff. But yes, if it was something that was going to go to something, like a zoo or somewhere where they are taking good care of them, yeah, we would do that.
Awesome, that's great. So, where do you primarily get your funding and donations from? I know you said that people go online, they can shop, you've had certain events, but give us some more information and elaborate on it. Well,
usually during the year, we participate in live events, especially ones in the community that are for animals, such as Jingle Paws or something like that, where we can set up a table and give people an idea of who we are and what we're doing, and let them see some of the animals and things like that. And we do have, things that we do on Facebook, like $5 Friday, where we're asking just for a small donation. And then we also do have opportunities sometimes where we'll say, okay, we're going to do a fundraiser, and if someone could participate, where maybe their business will do matching funds, and that really helps us out tremendously. So matching funds is great. And then if we can have people who will say, okay, I'm going to be a recurring donor, and I'm going to just give, $10 a month. Instead of buying some coffee, just send it to us. $10 a month is not that much, but if we have several people that do that and do it routinely every month, that's a huge help to us.
Yeah, that is. I mean, professional fundraising, it is challenging, and you have to think outside the box. So how often do you take in animals? Is it like on a daily? Is it on a monthly? Is it a weekly, quarterly? Tell me. I want to know.
Yeah. Of course, that's going to vary. We get calls weekly, sometimes daily. You never know who's going to call or what they're going to have. We can't take in every animal, obviously, for multiple reasons. For one thing, we have limited space. We're not going to take in more animals than we can handle in the space that we have to keep them comfortable and safe and happy. We're not going to overcrowd them. So many times what we'll do is say, okay, you have this need for this animal. We're going to help you try to find someone who can take them. Or we're going to help you with fostering, or maybe we'll help you for a month of, getting some food for your animal while we're looking for someone that can take it. So we try to help in any way that we can, even if we can't take the animal in. And we do take animals, throughout the year, if it's an animal that we can fit into a space that's going to be good for them.
That's good. So what happens, I guess a little bit more elaboration, but what happens if you're at capacity and you can't take that animal? Do you have like a second to go place to send them to for safety and say, this is what we recommend?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, so depending on the animal, like if it's an extra rabbit, we'll look for the sanctuaries that are specifically rabbit sanctuaries to say, hey, can you help us take in these rabbits, or other places that take multiple types of animals like we do, or we look for people that will foster. So maybe some of our volunteers or some of our board members or some of our supporters, can anyone foster this animal while we're looking for a home? You've probably seen like the dogs many times that are getting fostered for like the Humane Society, and we can do something like that.
Nice. That's awesome. So I was perusing your website before we got on in this interview, and I love the kids' activity pages. Those are adorable. Yes. And I feel like those should be some things that, especially with COVID-19, with kids, learn these facts. Are you going to have more of these things coming out? Because obviously they're adorable.
Yes, and we do have actually someone who makes them that's involved with our group. So yeah, we're going to be continuing that. And when we have our live fundraisers, we always bring stuff like that for the kids, because that's very important. The environment is important to us, nature is important to us, and we want to educate. So we want to educate the community, and of course a lot of that starts with kids. Let them see the animals, let them grow to love the animals, and they'll respect them more and take care of them more in the future. So that's really important to what we're doing.
That's great. And I just have to ask, because like I said, I saw it on your site and I just was curious. You had the animal education tab, and then they had like the different things like learn about turtles, learn about the bats and all this other stuff. For those events, I saw some dates were listed in 2020, but obviously you said you had to cancel some events. But did you do any of these things via Zoom or anything like that, or Facebook Live?
We usually did most of our stuff through Facebook. So that's kind of where we've had our volunteers working. If we have more volunteers who are into social media and could come and help us branch out, we would love to see that. Most of us are not really tech people. We're more let's dig in the dirt people. So Facebook is kind of where we've stayed.
Well, that's amazing because, I've seen Facebook Live Zooms blow up, but it was just curious because, as we were mentioning earlier with the fact of the matter is people want to have, the hands-on and they can't have the hands-on. Mm-hmm. But we're kind of down to like the last couple of things right now that I'd like to let my listeners or actually get my guests right now to give us the information to contact you, to, where to go, website, email, phone number, how to donate, anything like that. And if you want to promote any events right now, go for it really fast.
Okay, the website is farmhousesanctuary.org. We are also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The email is info@farmhousesanctuary.org. And our phone number is 941-219-9515. So that's the different ways to contact us.
Awesome.
And I would say if they can go on the website and look at our Amazon wish list, that would be the best thing that we could have right now.
So what's your favorite thing on the wish list really fast?
Buckets. You can't have enough buckets.
Now,
I know that's probably weird, but yeah.
No, that's fine. But what type of buckets? Are we talking poop shoveling buckets, or are we talking feeding buckets? No, I'm joking.
For me, feeding buckets.
That's what I was going to say, too. Well, I want to thank you, Sandra, from Farmhouse Animal Sanctuary, for being my guest on my show on Socially Joe. I would like to connect with you afterwards sometime, because I think we have some opportunities that we can talk about.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for allowing us to be on here today. We really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Well, you have a great day.
You too. Thank you.